What's going on, guys? I'm Chris. Welcome back to 4K Motoring. Today we've got another Ducati video for you. What I'm planning on doing today is testing whether removing the muffler on a motorcycle that has a catalytic converter, as most of the European Euro 4, Euro 5 emissions control vehicles do. If we remove just the muffler itself, leaving the catalytic converter and kind of all those downstream sensors in place, is it really going to make a difference in how the motorcycle sounds? And I know that sounds a little bit silly, normally changing a muffler does, but on these motorcycles, especially the Multistrada, the muffler itself is over $1,000 and the full system is almost $4,000. And that is absurd for such short little pipe. I know it's titanium, but that's absurd. So what I want to know is if we just take the muffler off, given the best chance of all the noise to be coming out with no sort of interference whatsoever, just straight out of the catalytic converter, is it going to be louder than just the muffler alone? That's my question. Stay tuned, let's find out. Alright, well, we are now in the garage with the Multistrada, again 2022 Multistrada V4s, and what we're going to be testing out is if this muffler that's under this bag here actually makes any sort of difference when it comes to sound and sound quality out of this bike. And really the purpose of that is to know whether the replacement for this muffler, one of the aftermarket ones, is still going to run somewhere between $500 and $1,000 for this short little piece of pipe, little muffler. Whereas replacing this catalytic converter under the bike, and some of that mid pipe there, that's going to be, at least with the Ducati system, closer to $3,500 to $4,000. So if we can just get by with this and have a little bit deeper tone, something closer to what the 2015 Multistrada I had with the Euro 3, I think, emissions compliance system, that was pretty much the perfect volume for me. It had a nice thump to it because it was that deep noise, but it was loud enough that you could hear it kind of when you're riding. You get great induction noise from this wonderful V4 engine in this Multistrada V4, but there's really no exhaust noise to speak of, at least from the factory spec. So if I can get kind of a cheaper version and still get some better sound, doesn't have to be outrageously loud, but better sound out of it, that's what I want to find out. So overall, this is going to be a pretty easy job. What we're going to need is a 6mm bit for the actual muffler mounting, where it's mounted to the top here. We don't need to remove this whole mount itself from the bike, from the rear sets, but we do need to put a 6mm to get that one off. This heat shield that's down here, it's going to have two 4mm bolts on it, and that's going to be important to get off so we can rotate this whole unit. And then underneath here, we're going to have a 13mm, and that's going to be basically the clamp that actually holds this whole tube in, which is kind of the two mounting points for the muffler, down here and up here take all the weight. Now I did want to make note that the reason I'm taking the muffler off first is because I don't want to touch a hot muffler, basically. So we're going to go ahead and see how this sounds. I'm going to put the microphone on the bike, as well as me stand in a specific spot and make sure everything's set exactly level. That way when we put the muffler back on and we test the sound again, we'll put all the sound measuring equipment in the same location. So hopefully it gives you guys a good feel of how loud it is and how the tone is. I know that typically doesn't translate well over YouTube videos, depending on microphones and your speakers, but hopefully this will give you at least some idea of the comparison of the two to see if it's even worth spending money on just a muffler. So I've got my second microphone. Again, this is the Saramonic Blink 500 microphone set. It comes with two wireless transmitters and one receiver, so I really like this set for the price. I'll leave a link down in the description for that one. But what I'm going to do is put one of these microphones on the strap on the bike, so I'm not touching any hard parts, but it'll be kind of muffler level, not getting air directly on it, and that should give you a pretty good idea of what this sounds like. Alright guys, the bike is coming to life. Our dashboard is ready to go, so let's go ahead. So to me, almost immediately, I'm hearing the bike definitely is higher in volume. I know that was not under load, but I think that should give us a pretty good idea of how the bike's going to sound. So let's go ahead and put that muffler back on. We don't need to put everything back on. We're just going to listen to how it sounds from the factory and see if there really is a noticeable difference. Okay, so I have the microphone set in the same spot, one I'm wearing and the one on the bike. The muffler is fully attached to the bike. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see how it sounds. Already, we can tell that bike is not quite as loud. The mufflers do a pretty good job of carrying that sound out. They don't really seem to be doing a lot to kill the sound, but at the same time, I'm not really noticing a whole lot different. And if we were to spend $1,000 on a new slip-on to put on that, and we had still just a pretty similar sound, I don't know about you, but I think I'd be pretty disappointed in that. Well, I hope you guys found this useful. I know that this is probably not going to be exclusive to the Multistrada itself. This is probably most of the newer bikes that have catalytic converters on them, at least the European bikes, that is. So you guys heard things back to back. You heard the samples. You heard what it sounded like for as identical audio inputs as I could give you. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you guys think it's worth buying just a can or doing the full system. Frankly, I don't like the way this bike sounds. I think it is way too quiet for a Ducati. It is way too quiet for a motorcycle. At the high RPMs, the induction noises are pretty cool, but it doesn't have that V4, Italian superbike sort of sound to it. And again, I'm not looking to wake the neighbors, but I would like to at least know that the motor is running when I'm on top of it. For you guys that have done the Acura system or even the QD system, let me know how that turns out for you. I know the Acura system is the one that's about $3,500 is what the dealerships are quoting me. And that's for not replacing the headers, but everything from the headers back, getting rid of the catalytic converter, getting a different dual inlet muffler, and that system with the dB killers removed, from what I hear, is about perfect for this bike. It's not ungodly loud, but it definitely sounds like this bike should. The QD exhaust, I know they have a decat pipe and a tune and a new muffler as well. That system is about $1,000 cheaper. It comes in about $2,500, so it saves a little bit of money. But from my understanding, the new tune that comes with the Acura system comes through Ducati, therefore everything's warranted. And that's kind of a big deal, especially when I purchased the extended warranty for this bike. The amount of electronics on this thing, I'm definitely keeping the warranty on it as long as I can. I did buy the extended warranty with it. So I'm not looking for something that's going to completely screw up the computers and will allow Ducati to say that the tune voided all the warranty stuff. As always, guys, thanks for watching 4K Motoring. I'm Chris. Really appreciate it. If you guys haven't hit that like button and subscribed already, please consider doing so. It really helps us out. Let us know what you want to see next, and we'll catch you next time.